What's up everybody, this is your host Yasin and you're watching my YouTube channel, and in this video we are going to cover the potential energy crisis happening across the globe, and I'm going to explain in simple words what is happening, why is it happening, and how you and I can make an educated decision to protect our wealth, our investment going forward. So without further ado, let's dive in. So if you haven't watched the news lately, what's happening in UK right now is they are running short of petrol in the petrol station across UK. You know, there's huge lineup of cars and trucks and buses just looking to fill up the fuel in their tanks, but there's not enough fuel available in the petrol stations. And now government is imposing restriction in terms of, they can only buy up to 30 pounds worth of petrol at a given time. In some cities, they're deploying the armed forces to control any potential, clash or anything like this. So that's what's happening in UK. And the reason being given in the media is it's primarily because of Brexit. So Brexit, if you don't know, it happened, I think, back in 2016, and now it has been fully enforced, is prohibiting European citizens to come into UK and live and work there. So a lot of truck drivers who are supposed to deliver these gasoline products to the pumps are international drivers, and they were sent back home since the Brexit was executed, and this situation became worse during pandemic when we did not have enough demand last year, and all those international workers were sent home, and now they're trying to bring it back, but we don't have enough drivers available, which is contributing towards this petrol crisis in UK. Now the government is saying it's not related to Brexit, it's just the people mentality in terms of rushing towards buying enough petrol where they don't need it. But the true reality is they're lying. It's Brexit issue, plus we have energy crisis going on across the globe, which I'm going to explain in a minute. So that's what's happening in UK. But across Europe, we are seeing a rise of energy costs, especially the natural gas. To give you the context, typical natural gas price is somewhere around $6 per MMBTU. Now it's approaching $15 or $20 per MMBTU, and in Japan it's almost approaching $30. So this is very expensive natural gas, and it is right now hurting the power generation companies, especially because they are regulated and they're not supposed to pass on the rise of material costs to the consumers. So what choices do they have? They have to somehow control the energy usage, because if the demand goes up, of course the usage will go up, and they don't have enough margin left to basically buy the natural gas at a higher price, but still cannot pass on the charge to the consumer. Now, what's happening in China? China is the biggest electricity user in this world. It's a manufacturing power hub. So whatever we use in our daily life, from toothbrush to all the way to electronic gadgets, clothing, shoes, cars, raw material, it's produced and manufactured in China. So imagine if the Chinese factories are running short of electrical power supply, what will happen? Those factories will shut down, they will reduce their operations, and in some cities, the Chinese power generation companies are encouraging or sometimes forcing consumers to cut down the usage, and in some cities they are also switching off the street lights, save the power usage. So that's what's happening in China, in Europe, and it will also extend into North America as well if the crisis becomes even worse. Why it's happening? Well, in order to understand, you have to go back 10 years ago when this whole initiative went up in terms of moving away from fossil fuel, hydrocarbon-based products towards more greener products like solar, wind, and renewable energy, right? So a lot of capital that used to be spent in traditional economic engine like gas, oil, and coal has now been moved away from it and spent in green energy projects and renewable energy projects, and which is why that sector, which is still powering our economic engine, which is oil, gas, and coal, has not getting any capital investment. So every manufacturing facility, whether this is oil, gas, or any other, needs capital investment to maintain and expand the infrastructure. That's not happening. If you are an investor, Are you going to put your money into oil and gas or in Netflix or Facebook or Apple? Right? So that's what's happening. The capital has been shifted, capital investment has been shifted from old economic model towards something new, which is not ready yet to power and serve the energy requirement of this world. So that's what's happening, and this is the reason why we are seeing the rise of energy cost across globe. And now we are going into winter, and God forbid if the winter is much colder, then it's going to surge the energy demand even higher, which will push the prices significantly up. Now, what's going to happen? Now, well, this will further turn into another supply chain issue, increase the prices, not only the energy supply products, but also transportation is going to be more expensive. If the transportation becomes more expensive, then of course, every commodity that is being delivered through the transportation services will also increase in its prices. So that means the inflation that we are seeing right now, it's going to get even worse going forward. And rising interest rate will not solve this issue because it's not going to solve the electrical power consumption usage. It's not going to reduce the gas prices. And these things takes time. Like even if they start investing into the old economic engine like oil, gas, and coal, it's going to take time to improve the infrastructure to meet the demand. And it doesn't happen overnight. So I think the bad news is we're going to see even more inflation going forward. And you and I, as a common person, have to just be aware of what's happening around our world to make an educated decision about our investment. So maybe you want to invest into oil or natural gas because the energy companies will do well because the demand will surge and of course their revenue will also increase. But I think the economic situation is really bad, and I don't see central bankers will increase the interest rate anytime soon because of two reasons. Number one, it's not going to solve this issue. B, it's going to even deteriorate the economic recovery, which is still struggling because of all the supply chain and now this global oil crisis that is knocking on our door. So look after yourself, make good decisions about investment, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.